Coming up on today's show, General Motors shares its plans with investors for the future of its various brands, including its goals for battery electric, hydrogen fuel cell electric, internal combustion, and selling your data. Tesla holds its shareholder day and lets slip some interesting snippets of information, and Ford sets out to tackle the problem of broken charging stations with its brand new Charge Angel team. These stories and more coming next. Welcome back to another episode of TEN, Transport Evolved News. I have been out of the office again this week, so I'm going to be catching up on the news during today's show just as much as you are. This show is sponsored by the Electric Auto Association. Stick around until the end of the show to find out how joining the EAA can help you finance your own clean energy or transportation purchase. We start today with GM's massive Investor Day as held on Wednesday this week. During the event, GM executives detailed all of the big things the company plans to execute on in the near and long-term future. And as our very own Kate Walton-Elliott joked in the team chat, it said the quiet things out loud. Aside from renewed commitments to EVs and a future roadmap that sees battery electric and hydrogen fuel cell electric taking the place of petrol and diesel respectively, GM upped its spending on EV battery production, robo-taxis, autonomous vehicles, and unveiled Ultra Cruise, a new hands-free driver assistance system that GM says is capable of driving on 95% of all roads in North America. We also heard a lot about GM's plans to turn itself into a platform company, making just as much money from the information its cars and customers create as it does from selling the vehicles in the first place. Winter did a deep dive on this, so be sure to check out his video, link below if you haven't yet. For a number of months, Mercedes-Benz has been playing up the capabilities of its first all-electric S-Class, the Mercedes-Benz EQS. As I'm sure you know, it's a vehicle based on a different platform to the gasoline S-Class, but one which will sell alongside the ICE S-Class for the foreseeable future, and actually which has a starting price that's significantly lower than the internal combustion engined S-Class. This week, Benz began letting the media drive the EQS for the first time, and while we didn't get a chance to drive it ourselves yet, we have heard via the grapevine that not everyone who drove it felt it lived up to the S-Class name. If that wasn't enough, the EQS has just been given its US range rating, and it's far below what was expected at 350 miles or 563 kilometers. This puts it well below the Model S Plaid and Lucid Air sedan. That said, we are hoping to get one soon to put it through its paces, so watch this space. Tesla held its annual shareholder meeting on Thursday this week, although it was technically called the annual stockholder meeting by the company. Potato, potato. During it, as usual, we learned some new snippets from the company, including the fact that the Tesla Model 3 is now officially the best-selling premium vehicle globally, with Elon Musk confidently stating he believes the Model 3 will be the best-selling vehicle by revenue next year, and then the best-selling vehicle of any kind by 2023. Blaming continued price increases on cost pressures in the supply chain, Musk also noted that Tesla is now telling battery partners that it will buy as many cells as they can make. With Giga Berlin soon expected to go online, Musk says he wants Tesla to have the safest factories on Earth and is pushing hard to increase the amount of raw materials obtained from battery recycling. Finally, Musk hinted that Tesla is looking to license autonomous or vehicle technology to other companies, but given how many companies are in that space, I'm curious to see who will take up Tesla on that particular offer. Rivian may have just begun series production of its R1T electric pickup and R1S electric SUV and is getting those first production vehicles ready for delivery. But the all-electric company is designed and producing a delivery truck for Amazon, and that's still instrumental to its short-term future. That's according to new documents submitted to the SEC by Rivian as part of its plans to go public via an IPO. The documents detail how Rivian has given Amazon exclusive access to its delivery truck for the first 4 years of production, with rights of first refusal for 2 years after that point on any subsequent delivery trucks produced. Amazon's part of the deal is pretty flexible. It can buy other trucks from other companies, but without truck sales to Amazon, Rivian would lose a major revenue stream. With R1T and R1S now rolling off the production line, however, the future does look pretty bright for the company, and we can't wait to drive the R1T some more. We all know that the commercial success of battery electric vehicles is heavily tied to the battery packs that go inside them, both in terms of their energy density and power, but also in terms of cost. And a new analysis from the US Department of Energy's Vehicle Technologies Office shows that the cost challenges of EV battery packs shouldn't be a major worry, with the cost of lithium-ion EV battery packs dropping a massive 87% over the last 13 years. Back in 2008, it says the cost of batteries were around $1,237 per kilowatt hour on a usable energy basis, but today that cost has dropped to $157 per kilowatt hour on that same usable energy basis. It shows that the $100 per kilowatt hour usable energy basis mark is within reach, and that will most certainly make EVs no more expensive than an ICE car to produce. For years, EV owners have been told by hardened gearheads that electric vehicles aren't cut out for towing. But as anyone who owns an EV with a tow hitch will tell you, that is far from the truth. Now the Caravan and Motorhome Club's Tow Car of the Year in the UK has proven that fact once and for all, with the Skoda Enyaq iV and Volvo XC40 Recharge coming out top in the 1,500 to 1,700 kilo caravan weight category. Both cars are praised for their torque and super low speed manoeuvrability, not to mention the ease with which they towed. Those watching outside of Europe, especially those for whom towing a trailer means a fifth wheel on your truck, might be laughing their heads off right now. But having towed with both internal combustion and battery electric, I know which I prefer. As long as you're not trying to tow half a state behind your vehicle, I think the EV wins every time. Recycling the materials inside an electric car battery pack is not only a great way to reduce the amount of raw material mining required to produce a new EV, but it can also dramatically reduce the carbon footprint associated with driving electric. But the costs associated with battery recycling have always been quite high due to the complex processes involved in the recycling process. Now, however, researchers at the Argonne National Laboratory's ReCell Centre believe they have a breakthrough process that dramatically reduces the cost of lithium-ion battery recycling. Using a new approach to froth flotation, the scientists at ReCell said they have developed a more cost-effective and faster way to separate off NMC-111, a compound used in cathodes, without separating that material into individual elements. It's then possible to use a lithiation process to rejuvenate the cathode material and then send it to be used in a new battery without sacrificing cell quality. Let us know below if you'd like us to do a deeper dive, and we'll try and get an interview. When it comes to legacy automakers making a big push towards electric vehicles, Volkswagen is one of the leaders, making a massive turnaround in the last few years as it tries to shed off the heavily polluting reputation it quite rightly earned from Dieselgate. But Daniela Cavallo, head of Volkswagen's Works Council, says that the company's efforts to shift its portfolio to electric aren't happening quickly enough. In fact, she wants Volkswagen to bring forward the company's electric production plans for its Wolfsburg facility to make it more competitive. While some Volkswagen factories are now only producing electric cars, Wolfsburg isn't due to begin making EVs until 2026. But Cavallo says she believes Volkswagen should bring that plan forward by 2 whole years. The car in question, developed under Volkswagen's top-secret Trinity project, will become the brand's flagship electric sedan. I'm sure by now many of you have seen the truly impressive, massive casting machines envisaged and designed by Tesla as a way of reducing part complexity and cost while improving vehicle rigidity, especially for the Tesla Model Y. Tesla has been using that cast assembly to make the rear of the Model Y for some time, but now we've learned that Tesla is using megacast front and rear assemblies to make all new Model Ys. It's the first time in the automotive world that a single front piece and single rear piece castings have been used in a car, and this will not only make the manufacturing process far less complicated, but also dramatically increase the gross automotive margin on Tesla Model Y. I'm guessing we'll hear more about this when Tesla holds its official Q3 earnings call, so watch this space and we'll share when we know more. ZETA, the Zero Emission Transportation Association, a coalition of EV companies and startups focused on representing the interests of EV customers and EV companies on Capitol Hill, has produced a new white paper showing that EV incentives really do work. Timed to coincide with wranglings in DC on future incentive programs for electric vehicles, the white paper lays out case studies from Norway, China, Germany and the US, all of which illustrate when appropriate incentives for electric vehicles exist, more people get behind the wheel of an EV. It recommends that the current proposed tax incentives remove any limits on manufacturer caps, makes incentives available at points of purchase, calls for a cash for clunkers-like credit for people trading in ICE vehicles, and suggests income limits not be imposed on those claiming incentives. It will be interesting to see what influence ZETA's white paper has on legislators. And now it's time for short shorts. GM has announced a brand new facility it's calling the Wallace Battery Cell Innovation Centre. When constructed, it will become home to a new battery research and development facility focused on lithium metal, silicon, and solid-state batteries. Fisker has announced it will be establishing a new research and engineering facility in the UK to help it bring its future electric cars to market. Called Fisker Magic Works, it will focus on low-volume, rapid deployment vehicle programs. Tesla has, yet again, increased the cost of its Model 3 and Model Y. As we noted earlier in the show, the price increases are blamed on supply costs, but it now means that the Model 3 will start from just shy of 42 grand and Model Y from 55 grand. With more people staying home due to COVID, more are getting out on trails on bicycles. But according to NPD, the growth rate for electric bicycles is now outpacing regular bicycle markets by a factor of 16. It helps that e-bike prices are now far lower than they once were. Volkswagen has announced that it will enter its first entry into the world-famous Rebelle rally with an all-electric ID.4 all-wheel drive. It will be driven by Mercedes-Benz with navigator Emily Winslow in the passenger seat. So, good luck, ladies! Sri Lanka's government has announced it wants 70% of the island nation's electricity to come from renewables by 2030, and it's launched a cheap loan program to help citizens generate power on their homes. It's said to have no coal in its future. MG has launched a new version of the ZS EV in the UK with a tweaked front end and a massive increase in range. The new model manages 273 miles, or 440 clicks per charge, on the WLTP cycle. BMW has announced a major investment in lithium technology startup Lilac Solutions. The company specialises in ways to make it cheaper and faster to extract lithium from saltwater brines using reduced water when compared to evaporation pools. As part of its Investor Day this week, GM announced it will invest more than $750 million in EV charging infrastructure in the next 4 years, focusing on both workplace and home charging, as well as public DC quick charging. Speaking on Twitter this week, NIO's spokesperson confirmed that NIO will be entering the German market from 2022, with the premium NIO ES8 and probably ES7 expected to launch there at the tail end of next year. Tesla's new mega factory in California, where it aims to make seriously large numbers of megapacks, is going to start making upwards of 40 gigawatt-hours of megapacks every year as of next year. That is going to seriously expand Tesla's battery storage portfolio. One of India's highest roads, in fact, one of the 5 highest passes in the world that you can drive, has now become drivable by electric cars after 18 brand new charging stations were installed along its length in just 10 days. I would love to drive it, but altitude sickness. Tesla's long-awaited CCS Type 1 to Tesla charging adapter is now ready to ship to customers who want to buy it. At least that's what we learned from a Tesla Korea email sent to customers this week. We'd expect it in North America presently. MG is readying to bring its Marvel R to Europe at an affordable price. It will go on sale in mainland Europe later this month, but it isn't expected in the UK anytime soon. The UK government has pledged to source all of its electricity from clean energy sources by 2035, the same target date as it wants all new cars to be fully electric. I should note, though, that clean energy in the government's case does include nuclear power. A Canadian EV group fed up with Saskatchewan's plans to go on an EV tax has caused quite a lot of attention by suggesting that in return, people should be asked to pay a fee to walk on the sidewalk. I'm really resisting the urge to sing about the arrogant worm's ditty about the last Saskatchewan pirate. My home city of Norwich, Norfolk, England, has decided that it wants to charge EV owners who do not have off-street parking £51 a year to get a licence to drape a charge cable across a public footpath. You will get into trouble without one. Tesla has expanded its allegations against Rivian in an ongoing lawsuit alleging Rivian poached its staff. Now it alleges that Rivian stole trade secrets about its battery technology, which is weird given Tesla's whole open-source patent offer. All-electric powersports company Volcon, which specialises in off-road capable 2- and 4-wheelers, executed its IPO this week. Even though the company behind the grunt and the runt is in its very early days, it exceeded its capital raise by a significant amount. BYD and Levo Mobility have announced a new joint partnership to bring vehicle-to-grid technology to fleet vehicles in the US. Using bidirectional charging systems, it's hoped that medium and heavy-duty fleets can help smooth grid demand with intelligent charging and V2G power transfer. Volkswagen has confirmed that in the 1 year that the ID.3 has been on sale, it has managed to sell 144,000 examples, with one half of all customers joining the brand with ID.3. That is an extremely high conquest rate. Tesla has pushed a new software update which includes improvements to its Yoke steering wheel for Model S Plaid owners. Now, when a Yoke-fitted Tesla detects a merge fork or a lane change, it will automatically cancel turn signals, and it will also try to automatically activate them too. GM confirmed during its Investor Day this week that it will be unveiling an all-electric Silverado pickup and GMC Sierra E at CES in January next year. Both vehicles will have four-wheel steering and glass roofs, and we will be there to cover them. The Volvo C40 Recharge has officially begun series production at Volvo's facility in Ghent, Belgium. The plant, already home to the XC40 Recharge, has a plant capacity in excess of 135,000 vehicles a year, one half of which will be electric in 2022. After the Genesis GV60 got its official reveal last week, we've learned that Genesis' first all-electric car will be offered at launch in Korea with a factory-installed inductive charging system from Wetricity. As I said, it will initially be a Korea-only option, but it will follow in other markets. A federal jury in San Francisco has ordered Tesla to pay more than $137 million to a former Tesla worker for daily racist abuse he suffered working at Tesla's Fremont facility. Tesla said in a statement that the company is not what it was now when the incidents occurred. Firefighting equipment specialist Roundbar has developed a new customer fire extinguishing service for use on electric car battery fires. The system can be quickly deployed underneath the battery pack fire and is faster, safer and quicker than traditional firefighting methods. German business flight specialist Air2E has confirmed a fleet of all-electric 8-seat E-Fly 800 craft has been ordered from Bye Aerospace. While the exact number of planes orders has not been disclosed, the company does want to go all-electric. And those are your short shorts. There will be more next week. Norway is, without a shadow of a doubt, the world leader in electric vehicle adoption, with the overwhelming majority of new cars sold there now coming with a plug and no tailpipe. But now the Norwegian government is causing a little stir among plug-in fans by suggesting it might enact a new tax on EVs. Before you get agitated, however, I should point out that this new proposed tax is one designed to focus on the car's purchase price and actually would mirror, in some ways, Norway's existing purchase tax system. You see, the nation taxes ICE cars based on their sticker price and their emissions. And this new proposed system would do something similar, levying a tax on EVs that cost more than about 600,000 kroner. It would mean Porsche, Audi and high-end Teslas, as well as Mercedes-Benz cars and others, might attract a purchase tax, while more affordable cars won't. Frankly, I do not have a problem with this, as if you can afford a high-end electric car, you can probably afford paying the tax too. And finally, there is nothing worse than turning up at a public charging station to find that it's out of order, or worse still, just doesn't want to work with your car. To date, the way that people have tracked which units work and which ones don't has depended on a community effort of people reporting the problem to a database like the Open Charge Map. But now Ford has said that it's employing a team of specialists called Charge Angels to help figure out which charging stations are good and which ones need a fix. Essentially, Ford is paying a group of employees to crisscross the US in specially kitted out Mustang Mach-E's that are capable of both testing and identifying issues with public charging stations, documenting as they go. Hearing Ford talking about it, I can't help but wonder if we're going to see some kind of special uniform though. So put your fashion ideas for the men, women and non-binary members of the Charge Angel team in the comments below. And on that note, we are done for today. But before I go, I would like to thank the Electric Auto Association for sponsoring today's show. They have been advocating for electric vehicles since 1967 and firmly believe that our future depends on us making the switch to clean green electric cars today. The EAA can help you find someone near to you that can help you make the switch to electric. It can help you become an EV educator, and it can point you in the direction of monthly meetups for like-minded EV fans. And if you become a member, you'll gain access to a new clean energy and EV loan program set up between the EAA and the Colorado Clean Energy Credit Union. You can find out more by heading to electricauto.org. If you haven't already, please do consider subscribing to the channel, hitting the bell, and doing the same to our two other channels as well. That's Transport Evolved Take 2 and Transport Evolved Shorts. We'd also love you to support us through Patreon or Ko-fi if you're so inclined. And don't forget that you can buy your own TE swag, like this shirt, at our Redbubble store. The link is below. And if you're feeling chatty, don't forget to drop by our free-to-join Discord chat room. I or someone else from the team will be back soon with more video goodness, but until next time, thanks for joining me, and as always, keep evolving!